funded first. So obviously you got to take care of what you got before you do any improvement to it. So the reason that, yes, people were still buying gas in that time, but there was only enough gas and cars being titled to fund taking care of maintenance programs first, and you know, statewide construction projects were prioritized. There was less money to go around, and there was some construction being done, but it was very, very limited. So things like your interstate projects and things like that, you know, if there was any money being done out of those. Does that help answer that?
It does.
Okay.
They're pushing these electric cars now, so you're not going to be using gas, so where is the money going to come from?
I suspect some states have talked about having a user fee. That you, like when you, which there is now, I think if you have one in Virginia, then you go and you pay a fee every year. That's whenever you license, renew your tags, then you know, you might have a fee that's, you know, $600 or $700 more because it's an electric vehicle. I think that that's right. I don't have one myself, but I think that that's the case.
Can we get information when we get into the 6-year plan on traffic counts and households?
That's what we provide as Mr. Skeen. The way that we can assist you is that a lot of times with it, you know, so that you might have constituents that ask you for a roadway, say, you know, or you know that, like being in your area, that people are wanting to see that. So either through Frida or contacting me, then we will, you know, you say, okay, well, we've got, say for instance, Gate Road, that I want you to see about, consider that one for going on the plan, and could you check on that, give me an estimate, and see if it qualifies. Then we'll go out and we do that, and then we will just respond back to you and tell you yes it does or not based on traffic count, and here's what it will cost to construct it. And then you with your fellow board members then can take all that information, as we would do each one of them, and decide which one y'all want to prioritize and put it in place.
I think a lot of our, well, thank you for the opportunity to speak outside on some of these things that I submitted to you a couple of weeks ago. But I think as you and I have discussed, communication, I think you had 3 things that I'd asked about that I didn't know and you had to answer, but until you told me, I thought it'd been right.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to work with you on communication if you'd like doing that.
Sure.
But I think that would solve a lot of people's problems, because we submit work orders, or the residents do, and don't hear anything back. And I think in your first response to us, you thought it would be like within 3 days that somebody would respond, which I think that's close.
And we are looking into that. There's some information come to us, and so we're starting to delve into some of it just to check into things. There's information that is out there that you know, that sometimes, yes, we might not get shared as well as we should have. That, say for instance, a person may call in for a work order and say, well, it needs to be ditched in front of my house. Well, I feel confident that our guys are going and looking at it, whether it gets communicated back properly the way that everybody would desire. We may, I think we always have room for improvement. But the thing that happens sometimes is to why that when you call in and say, I need the ditch cleaned in front of my house, is that our guys then, they have a system that they have to enter that in to for the environmental. And then we have an environmental person that looks at that. And then they will come back to them and they've got maps and different things of that, and they may be like, okay, we're going to have a permit on that. And there are times that we will have cases of where that, because of the type of permit that's needed, we've waited 1 to 2 years before just to be able to ditch where that there's a stream running in front of somebody's house because of the fact of that somebody saw a salamander in it or something like that. I mean, I'm kind of being a little bit, but it is true. I mean, so there are things that are like that. So I will go to the back page since you mentioned work orders for just a moment and just kind of give you a little information. This is not meant to imply that we don't have any work to do or whatever, but just to give you an example. So I asked our staff to pull some information for recent calendar year 2023 that we just completed. So we ended up having, these are the major areas. We ended up having a total of like 1,400 and some work orders in total. But I asked them just to identify the areas that we hear the most concerns out of. So we had, of those in the major categories, 1,224 work orders that came through last year, and we closed 1,161 of them. At the end of the year, we still had 63 that had come in during the calendar year that were open. And the average time that it took us to review and close out the work order, and that sometimes means something was done, or it could be that something wasn't done because of the situation. Because we do have situations that exist that will be that we just can't do anything. It will be outside the right of way, or something that would be like a major reconstruction project that would have to be done. But the average time on that close was 16 days, and I'm sure a lot of folks, don't feel that it's soon enough, but our district-wide average was 21 days in all the entire Bristol district. So that's just a little bit of information. Of those, you can see big numbers of the ones that came through were dead animals. We had 148 come in that were dead animals. And those are ones that I will admit we don't always go back out or call the person and say we got the dead animal. We just go and pick it up, take it, and dispose of it. Then we have the next one is the request for gravel to be added to the unpaved roads. We had 115 of those last year. Potholes on hard surface roads, 109. Roads where the requests for there being motor grader to come in and blade them, 154. Tree limbs, down trees, that's where that with storms or trees that come down, wind blows them down, our folks get called out a lot for those, 280 of those during the year. And we had, drainage problems. I didn't mention it, 63 with drainage. And you will note in some of our number that's up there, 14 of those were open at the end of the year, and most likely those will remain open because of the need to have to go through for the permit process before we could proceed with, or permit review before we could proceed with any work. So those are types of things that we deal with the work orders. Again, I would say that it's possible. Our guys are out trying to prioritize the work for their area. They get a great volume of these that are coming in. And you know, their job is to be out into the field to try to get the work done. And so I'm not meaning to make excuses for them, but I would say that, you know, the option of them coming out and looking at things out on the road, trying to get those things done, as compared to sitting in the office and actually answering, making 1,224 phone calls, you know, is probably not as high on their list. But it doesn't mean that they need some means to be able to update people.
They do have tablets in the field. Go out there, the site visit.
They do have a tablet that they can use that's out in the field, but that doesn't get the person called back that's there with that. So
I mentioned just briefly, you know, 4 or 5 projects that were in my district.
Yes.
Well, we had 3 past projects. Some of the people are here tonight. You mind just briefly touching on it? You did respond to me with this, and I appreciate it. Dean Hollow Road in Nicholsville.
Dean Hollow Road, we could look to take a look at that. I checked with a gentleman that has retired that worked on that project, and I asked him about it. And because I wasn't here at the time I took a little detour and went to Abingdon for 3 years. Okay, and he informed me that they had some safety money that they were looking to spend, and they were looking to try to take that bad spot out of that curve, and that the gentleman would not give any in order to be able to do it. It's one of those that we did need right-of-way and easement to be able to improve it, and he did not want to give the right-of-way. And so we can revisit that at some point, but was not a 6-year plan project. That was just a safety project that we were looking at.
On safety, is that a different?
That's a different
budget than
that's a different
6-year?
Yes.
Okay. I think the Gate Road that was mentioned, they would fall under that as well. On the site.
The Gate Road that she showed us the pictures of.
She was talking about maintenance. There's also a site.
Okay. Okay, we can look into it. We've got her number. We're going to contact her and talk to her. But as far as the maintenance of that, asphalt plants locally are closed. There is an asphalt plant in Abingdon that runs periodically this time of the year, and we're going to look to try to get some asphalt from that plant in order to work on the maintenance problem areas that she brought forward tonight.
The other site situation, I know you've had an engineer out to look at it, Little Duck Road in Nicholsville.
Yes.
Would that fall, if something needed to be done, would that be a safety?
That would be a safety item. And now we will. That's if construction parts is doing that. If it's just a maintenance issue that there needs to be some vegetation cut, then we do that just as part of our regular maintenance program.
Reed Hollow Road, when they closed the road over there with the landslide.
When I was here when that was closed, and there were discussions about the safety of that roadway, with fear that someone be driving through there and then large amount of rock fall down in there. At that time, and I'm sure it's increased, it was estimated to be, I think, right around $7.5 million just right in that one area in order to daylight or put a rock bench to improve the section that was closed, and that was not money that the district had available. And so we made the decision to close the roadway. However, we did come upon some funding, safety funding, to do some spot improvements just in some of the areas. And I realized that it didn't take care of all the areas that for the cattle trailers to pass and everything, but we were trying to spot widen it as much as we could, given what little safety money we had, in order to try to help it what we could. That's one we could look at again in the future, but it's based upon what I anticipate on funding, it might be challenging to try to do very much to it. But we can revisit it. Okay.
On these roads that are environmental review, what do? You just push them to the side and then bring another road up
No,
to
then
that?
these are where we're in the engineering, we're in the planning stage for them.
Okay.
That's where they are. That's part of the process.
Okay.
So we're always moving along. Some we complete, some we have under construction, and then some we're doing the planning and the engineering work on.
Okay.
These are the ones that are what I would call, I guess, would be preliminary engineering phase. The environmental part is part of it.
Okay.
That's one of the phases that we do.
Of the 126 employees that you've got in the 4 counties, how many of those are in Scott County?
27.
There's 27.
That's how much we have. We're in process of hiring some people now, but 27
Is there anything that we could do to help you with that hiring process? Can we put that on our website that you're hiring or something like that? Because I do feel like our county is shy with our VDOT workers. Because back in the day, we had over 50 at Moccasin Gap.
Yes. And that's again a thing that employment levels are set to the General Assembly based upon funding.
Right.
And so the one thing we have that we currently are is that we have a ratio of employees per total amount of lane miles within the district. And we are right there consistent with the number of lane miles overall, not unpaved roads, but total lane miles compared to the other 12 or 8 counties, 8 plus 4, 12 in our Bristol district. In other words, we all are at the same number per based on that. So we've actually been seeing kind of, pretty decent applications come in and seeing that. And our HR department has stepped up their efforts now. They're doing a lot more social media recruiting and things there, putting it out. And so we're, based upon the numbers that we're receiving, then I think we're doing okay on attracting those. And I might add that, again, statewide, one of the things we do is we supplement our workforce, like by using contractors.
Okay.
There can be a lot of analysis about what it costs more, costs less.
I know you had several during when it snowed.
Yes, we had a lot of folks that were pushing trucks for us.
And we definitely appreciate those. We appreciate everyone at VDOT.
The snow, I just say, we hope that, we don't have another one of those this winter.
Yes.
The amount was not like blizzard level amounts, but the temperatures dropped so much that it formed a bond to the roadways, and so it was challenging at times to try to go through. We would go through, but the plows would not cut it all the way down to the surface. One of the things too is that I realized that we did have some new drivers that were in, and we did miss some roads, and we had to go back and get them. One thing that helps us with that technologically now is that we have GPS systems in all of our trucks, including the contractors that work for us. So if we get a call in and someone says, well, nobody's plowed our roadway, then we're able to pull that roadway up and look and see whether they plowed it. Now, the one thing that I would caution everyone about with that is that there is the system that's out there that's that plowvirginia.org, that's, I think it's called, that shows the plows. And there were times that it would look like we only had 2 or 3 trucks running in Scott County. But those are based off of cell service. So what would happen is if they would not ping live to that, so if they went somewhere off out of cell service, that truck would disappear and not show up there. For us, when they come back into cell service, it downloads all the data back to us, so we're able to see all the roads that they went to. So that's helpful there with that. If I might just kind of right back up, I've talked about snow. Our crews have focused on that. We realize the thing with an unpaved road is you have continuing changing conditions on a gravel road. Makes it frustrating. In the summertime, you live with dust and washboarding. In the wintertime, you live with the muddy conditions that occur. We're attempting to try to get stone out on the roads. Budget-wise, we're not set up within that $11.5 million that I referred to be able to go from totally one end to the other. So if you got a 2-mile road, to put stone at intersection A to intersection B for 2 miles. But we try to go in and hit the worst spots that's there and then work on it as we go along. So our crews, since the weather broke with that, they've been focused on trying to get some of that done and trying to work some of these. You also have to be a little bit careful of taking a motor grader on and cutting them very deep if they're got some freeze to them, because they'll make it worse muddier than what there with that. So if you've got kind of a frozen hard pack there with it, then we're going to kind of leave it and add stone as we can. We have allocated some money out from, we can kind of control the materials funding, keep that in hand up at our office so that we know that, okay, guys, don't go spend all your money in September, but so we hand some money out at different times for them to put gravel out on the roads, and we've done that, and they're working on that. And I think what we have, guys, about 2,500 tons of stone that I think is what we allocated out, and we're working on putting out right now to our roads here. And that cost of that, depending on what quarry we go to, that runs us a cost of anywhere from $9 to $16 or so a ton, depending upon where we haul that from. So that's a cost that we have as well that we deal with. We're doing some tree trimming work as well. That kind of work is weather dependent. And then, as mentioned, the work orders. When you've been focused totally on trying to get snow off the roads and then put gravel roads back to the condition, then the ditch that's in front of the hard surfaced road that's down there kind of, gets put to the back burner for a while. So we're trying to address some of those as we can. The only other thing that I've mentioned in the report is that we try on here is that if we receive things that from you here at the board, when it says previous requests and comments, if you contact us or get an item brought up, then we try to include that back on the report that we had here. So you see Danny Mann's name mentioned on there. Those were some things he mentioned to us back last time we were here that we tried to get taken care of, that we're reporting here. And the items that we've heard here tonight, we will certainly investigate them and see if there's something that we can do. So that's really all I have for you. I appreciate the time.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
How do you get gravels from VDOT to get them on the roads?
How do we get them?
How do you contact them like me to get something like that done?
Well, for you, I would probably prefer for you to contact our office in Wise as a board member, and then we'll take a look and see what we can do there with that. We have folks that are, that you might contact that's not charged with the ability
Right.
to go get a load of gravel and take it somewhere, and they might worry about getting
I had
themselves in
several
trouble.
numbers, but I didn't know which office to call. I don't know which one's which area.
Yeah, so if you contact, I'll introduce staff we have with me. This is Wade Belcher. He's our assistant residency administrator for maintenance. I don't know if you met him or not.
No.
Okay, and this is Eric Hartless. He is the maintenance manager, works out of our Wise office as well. So our superintendents that are local, Mr. Campbell and Mr. Jesse. Mr. Campbell's at Fort Blackmore and Mr. Jesse's at Pattonsville. They report to Eric, and he works with them on a day-to-day basis, and then Wade and I work with all of them through the whole 4 counties.
No. There are several roads in my area. I've even seen some of the individuals a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Took the farm tractor and put gravels on the state road when it come off the blacktop up in the Manville area. Me and Mr. Steams was out in the Ryco area a couple of weeks or so ago, and I heard one of the ladies back there the other day describe it the best way I could ever hear it. She said we're running on soup.
Yeah.
And
That
I asked Mr.
happens
Steams
typically
the
right
same.
after the snow, they get
But
that way.
this was kind of,
Yeah,
it was pretty soupy before,
yeah.
but it,
I tell you what, Mr. Castile, if you would, however your method of it is, a couple of different ways. You can either, Frida has our contact information up there at the
I
office.
think I've got it,
Okay.
but I didn't know which is which, okay?
And she, we can make sure he has the right number or whatever.
Okay.
And then, or the other avenue that she has, she and I communicate with each other often, is that you can even pass it along to her, and she'll drop me an email at times. So it's
I'd
however you
like to
want
say
to do it.
one more thing. 3 weeks ago, I was out there on Farmer's Acre, and I come through there. There's a young lady backing up. I got to the side, she said, "You can't go through." Said it's a big tree. I didn't know how big a tree a young lady would think. I went down there, it's a pretty good sized tree. That road there was blocked by the tree, what I'd say was 15 inches. Then I went on down there to Big Branch, and the ditches down there when it comes out on 65. I stopped up, and water was running halfway across the road, and that's just seemed like everyday thing for them people over there.
Okay.
And if
You said that the name of that road's Farmer's Acre? What did you say?
yeah, Farmer's Acre, Cox's Chapel,
Okay, I know that one.
Brick Church is what I call it. It's 652, 650,
Okay.
647, 648.
We'll put that on our list to check into.
Okay, listen, I really thank you, okay?
Okay.
And them guys really worked during that snow. I'm telling you, they did. I pushed snow for the state. I know what that's like. And if you knock down it, snow flies over, snow play on your eyes, that's getting hard. Them guys work at that in the dark.
Any more questions for Mr.
I did have one
Supervisor?
other topic. Gold Star, I have a Gold Star mother in my district, and she is asking how to name a bridge, the process of going through. Could you cover that?
You know the process of
So we can cover that later.
yeah. You would pass a resolution and so forth, and then So I will say this, because it gets kind of missed, is if a bridge is named after somebody, then we look to the county to pay for the signs and then the maintenance. Now, many times the county will go, when I say the county, I'm speaking generally generic, the county will go to the family that's wanting it named, you know, and if it's going to be $500, then say, you know, but we don't deal with the lady to get the $500 for the name of the signs. We collect it from the county, but you could get it from the lady, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, is that?
Appreciate it. Any more questions?
Okay,
I
I
didn't
hope
have
that's,
anything.
I'm sorry for taking so long. Hopefully it won't be this long every time, or I might not come back.
We appreciate you coming.
Okay, all right.
Thank
So-
you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
But it's, we'll keep trying to do the best we can and then check into things and work on there.
Thank you, okay.
But again, the thing that I'm needing you all to start thinking about is roads that you want to consider for candidates for the 6-year plan. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Mr. Chairman, I did have something I need to bring up. We're finished. In
Okay,
7 minutes.
all right.
It was brought to my attention tonight that all supervisors want to have a work session, I guess, in April. And that's the first I've heard about it. And I think we presented this back in November about having a work session on VDOT issues.
Before the election?
No, it was after.
After the election?
Yes. Well, it's November the 18th. That's when the later one happened. I would just like to get a poll of the board, who wants to do a work session
All those that want to do a work session with
I'm
VDOT?
curious as to.
with our April, I think you've scheduled for April, looking at that day.
I have sent out April 9th as the date.
And that is to meet with Delegate Kilgore, Pillion, VDOT representatives.
All those that want to have that hearing, workshop, raise your hand, please. 3. 3,
And
and
I think we're
I'm
short.
curious about what the agenda for the work session would be, because like he just said, they are bound by the Virginia Code. So that's my concern, is what kind of work session what does that work session?
I think
in
we
your
outlined
mind,
several things that we wanted to discuss in the November 18 letter. I think we identified several people that we wanted to involve
so the questions you sent out before,
before our first meeting.
I thought we covered those.
We did, but it was brought to my attention tonight and not everybody wanted to do that. So I just wanted.
Well, I would say, you know, those that want to go, and those that don't. You know,
Yeah.
the 4 of you could go and listen. Bring it back to us.
Okay. So you're saying we will continue with the work session? Correct.
If you have the majority, which you had 4 votes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll go on with the agenda. Scott Services, thank you, gentlemen. Scott Services.
On dirt roads to get a copy of the 6-year plan.
Can you give me your email and I'll send it to you?
Got a phone number,
That'll be good.
276-467-2838.
Your road is on there.
Thank you. I just want to
It's
list, a
in
lot of
two,
people ask me.
it's in 2 sections because it's such a long road.
Just want to show them
Thank you, Mr. Gilmore.
what's on the list. If we could.
I'll get it to you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Good, how are you? Good. No, I don't want to have one.
Oh, well, thank you.
Y'all ready for me to
good sign. Everybody gets up and leaves before you.
Or just step away. Mr. Carter will take care of it.
Hey, Pam. Good work, Pam.
We cleared up half the room, so, good or bad. Yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kyle Kilgore. I'm the Commonwealth Attorney here in Scott County. I appreciate you guys having us out tonight so we can present some of our statistics and data we've gathered for you. Brief introduction. That's Dan Fellhauer. He's my Chief Deputy Commonwealth Attorney. Ms. Jessica Keys. She's the Scout Service Director. Justin Venable. He is our coordinator for our male participants. Shannon McMary. She's the coordinator for our female participants. And then we got a few like former and current participants. So just briefly, I don't want to take away credit from my predecessors. Scout Service is really in development for probably close to 10 years. Different proposals were brought forward to the board, and finally it was tweaked and to a spot that my predecessor Andy Johnson had sort of brought it about, and then got these guys on board, and of course you guys voted to fund it. What Scout Service is it's a alternative sentencing program mechanism that really bridges the gap between incarceration and probation. And just as a prosecuting attorney, I can say it's refreshing to have another option, because again, we're not really talking about violent offenders here or threats to the community. We're talking about people who have made some bad decisions in life but may not need to end up at Duffield. And I think you all know that costs the county around $45 a day, so you can start doing the math, and that starts to multiply. I don't want to steal what anybody else is going to say, but our participants, if they're already working, then that counts towards their credit. But if they don't have a job, our coordinators help them get a job, help them learn skills, can get certain diplomas and certificates like a GED or anything like that, help them get their driver's license, become more independent, and kind of get them out of that cycle that they're in. And that's really the main thing. And just on top of that, it really saves the county money. It saves close to $1 million a year in what we would otherwise be spending in jail costs. And I could just say the judges love it, defense attorneys love it, and my office loves it. So, and it wouldn't be what it is without the people standing behind me. So I don't want to take really any credit. I steer the ship, but they keep the runners going, I guess, to use another boat expression. But without further ado, I'll step out of the way and let y'all get started. Sure, who's going first?
Yeah. I'm going to introduce to you these two lovely ladies. I'm going to let them speak, and then I'm going to excuse them just because they've offered up a lot of their time. So I'm going to first introduce Whitney Hawkins. She has graduated the program, but I want her to tell you her story about what she has gone through and where she is today. She has an amazing story, and everything that she has done is all credited to her. So Whitney, if you want to take the floor.
So my name is Whitney Hawkins. I'm a former graduate of the Scott Works program. I first went into the program back in 2019 when I was sentenced to 1 year and 7 months. I would have had 1 year left to pull in Duffield. I wasn't supposed to be eligible to get out. But I don't know if you guys are faith people or not, but I am by the grace of God. I got out to be with my kids. I was able to work this program and be back in my kids' life 1 year earlier than what I was supposed to. I'm now 5 years clean, almost 6. I have, for the last 3 years, I have worked in the recovery field. After I graduated the program, I was introduced to the Virginia Career Works. They helped me pay for my CPRS certificate training, and I got my certificate. I'm licensed now in the state of Virginia. I worked for the last 2 years for the Peer Help program for Ballard. I went into multiple jails over there. I did classes. I actually taught the graduating class for the TCAT. I'm sure you guys may have heard of that in Washington County the last couple months. I was one of the facilitators of that class. what an honor it was to be standing on the other side, helping these people find their way out. I now work over here in Virginia in Pennington Gap. I work at Savita Health, which is an MAT clinic, and just trying to help people find their way out. Yes, thank you. But this program has done so much. When I was in the program, the support I got, you know, I wouldn't be here without them.
We're very proud. So this is Leslie Stidham. She is scheduled to be completed with Scott service next month, or actually in less than a month. And just like Whitney, she has put in so much work. I mean, I could sit here and talk about it all night, but I won't take up that time because I think it's better heard from Leslie on her story.
Well, my name is Leslie. I do graduate February the 27th from this program. Scott Service has made me hold myself accountable for the poor decisions that I had been making. It's also helped me to make better choices for the future. I've been able to maintain a job and stay clean and sober. Have both of my children. I'm able to hold down a job. And I owe it all to Scott Works and God.
Amen.
I'm going to walk them out, but thank you for taking the time to listen to them.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies. I'm glad we could help her.
We are so extremely proud of them. Right. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes, but, and with them, you know, see them and hear from them and stay in touch with them, we all do, all the time. And those are the lives that are changing. Like they both have young children. They get to be home with their kids. They get to be a productive citizen. They get to be a tax-paying citizen. They get to be back in their community, back with their families and back with their friends, and that's what it's all about.
And they're clean and sober.
And they're clean and sober. And they're working. And yes.
It's hot in here, my eyes are sweating.
They get to show their children that there is, you know, you can make a mistake and there is a better way. So we put together a little slideshow. Some of you have already seen parts of it when we presented in the past, but Chris, I'm probably not the best. You want to click and I'll talk. So this is just a couple of capital improvement projects we've been a part of over the years. This isn't, you know, these are current, these are past, couple different projects. Those are some beautification updates, areas that we have worked throughout the county with different departments and programs. Crooked Road, you could probably speak to that one.
Yeah, we have got with Mr. John Kilgore, and we've taken over the mowing and landscaping duties down at the Crooked Road Tech Center. Taking the burden off that, hopefully saving some money.
Hopefully helping down there, Mr. Kilgore.
We have APTA here, the county-owned building that we have recently did a mulching project outside the building. That was last year. You can see the much-needed update of the welcome sign coming in to Gate City. We had some local ladies that worked on the mulching and clearing all the weeds out of that, just making it look a little better coming into town. We also mow and bush meal and
decorate for the holidays.
And they clean the inside of bush meal.
Weekly, they have many community programs and events there that we help support that program.
This is the Red Cross cabin at Rock Oak Intermediate School. Did a lot of leaf blowing that day. A lot of leaf blowing. So we got that cleared up for them so they could have an event and do some school activities down at that side as well. Keith Park, this was recent. Huge limb fell onto one of the cabins there. Not sure how it didn't do any damage that we could see, but we were able to have participants clear that off the cabin, get it taken care of, disposed of, and then there was another tree on the trail that they were able to cut up and dispose of as well. let's see, we did pressure washing. You can see Rock Cove High School and Gate City High School Stadium there, and the main cabin at Keith Park. We were able to pressure wash that and stain that for them to what they needed. Scott County Park and Golf Course. See the overhang. We were approached by Mr. France, who's going to be presenting later on, to assist that with the replanking the deck there. I think it turned out pretty good. Also, this was when Attorney General Mieres was coming down for an event, and we remulched assisted with Scott County Park and Golf Course and remulching that and sprucing it up a bit. Rogan Park, you can see some workers there pushing up the fence. We didn't really repair the fence. We didn't have authorization to do that, but we kind of got it up and stabilized a little bit. We also helped the KC Little League. I didn't get a before picture because they got there was a little shed that they had their equipment, Little League equipment and supplies in. They're getting a new building, so they asked us with the task of tearing down the building. Like I said, didn't get a before picture because they got that sucker down real quick. I think it surprised them as well. So, but we got that cleaned up and taken care of. More Brogan Park pictures. Just beautification pictures here, cleaning up the mulch beds. Scott County Dispatch, they brought in loads and loads of gravel. I think the guys really hated me this day, that they had to shovel and wheelbarrow tons of rock that day, but ended up looking really good. Scott County Courthouse, ended up refinishing some of the tables in General District and then the podiums in Circuit Court, as you can see there. Trash removal. Just today, I counted 55 bags, additional bags on Route 71. That's on top of the 76 bags that we had already picked up in previous weeks. We do lots of trash removal. You can see tires there that we work with Scott County Animal Control and Litter Control officers, and we do runs throughout the county. They get calls about tires on the side of the road, so we'll go assist them with the cleanup of the tires and the removal of those. A lot of mattresses.
Isn't that wild?
We've probably picked up more mattresses than Tempur-Pedic produces. That is Weininger Mill Road, which I just received a call from Mr. Cookenhauer that I guess another culprit has littered up that once again. So yes. It's a shame. I wish people could just take it to the dump. Just get it out. Don't litter up our beautiful county. But again, we assisted with that, removing that. We had it looking great, and I guess we'll do it again. But
you're happy to help.
Yeah. And which brings us to our fiscal numbers here. I provided you with a sheet. Our jail cost savings just for last year, 2023, are over $1.3 million that we were able to save by participants being in our program and not serving their time in Duffield. Just this year, from January 1 to today, we are already at $135,000. The total cost that we've saved since the inception of the program is July 1, 2019. We've saved over $4.7 million for the county. We have enrolled a total number of 342 participants. We have had a total number of 118 graduate. As you saw, one is well on her way to doing so, and I think we have another 2 that are scheduled to complete this week as well. So we're very, very proud of them. The old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. These people, they gotta want to drink, and the people that have graduated this program have taken this and ran with it and done a phenomenal job. And Like I said, I think it's getting hot again. I think my eyes are sweating again, but we're very passionate about this program. You know, it helps the citizens, not only from a you know, tax burden, you know, assist with that and saving money from that, but it also helps get their loved ones back in the community, get them back on the right track, confident in what they're doing. We're very passionate about it. We are very passionate about it. Currently, we have 65 active participants in the program. At any given time, we have 5 to 15 participants working with us throughout the day, and so that means, you know, roughly 50 are working personal jobs. They've got jobs back in the county or wherever it may be. So we closely monitor those folks. We call them in for drug screens and make sure that they're held accountable still, even though they're not with us every day. We still work with these people as well. So you can see a 55% success rate. May not seem a lot, but you know, 30% gets you into the Hall of Fame. So, compared to other some other programs that have a recidivism rate of 25%, 55% is very good. And again, you know, we're, like Kyle said, we're just, you know, steering the ship. They're doing all the hard work. So
I don't want to interrupt you. Just a couple footnotes to the numbers. Even the participants that fail save the county money because they have a shorter incarceration period. They may have an additional charge for a probation violation or for whatever reason they're removed from the program. And also getting them back to their families. I don't want to get too much into the case, but you know, we don't have to take their child if they have no other alternative. And ultimately, they become tax-paying citizens, own property, pay property taxes, all those good things that come with it. So, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I think I was done.
One thing I would like to add, the new board members may not be aware of this, but this program was I believe it was 2021 National Association of Counties Award winner.
Yes.
Yes.
We have our plaque proudly. Yeah, thank you. Proudly hung at the office.
Yes, we were very
in the
proud
Criminal
of that.
Justice and Safety Department.
We have one in the back. That's the certificate too. So
thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that, Frida. Sometimes forget it.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you all for cleaning up the Winegar Mill.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry
we'll be
it's
doing
messed
it
up
again.
again. Hopefully, I talked to Jake and them today, and maybe they can find an address or name in it and put a stop to this. It's happened, what, is this 2 or 3 times?
That's maybe third time, second or third time.
That we know of.
That's close. Yeah, and that's close to the Hawkins County line. I've driven that road myself, and you can come right in. So who knows who's doing it, but need to stop.
Where's the camera?
Yeah, need to stop.
These figures really speak for themselves. They do. I've been here for 4 years now, and you've come in a couple or 3 times a year, and I've always bragged on you. It's a great program. Has it been replicated? How many counties around us are doing it now? Do you know?
You know, Russell County, we met with Russell County when we started this program, kind of get an idea of how Missy, she's wonderful, and worked with us and helping us, assisting us with starting this up as well.
Wise and Lee have developed a program since.
Yeah, Wise and Lee.
Smith is interested in.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, Smith County, I'm due for a call with Bucky Blevins, the newly elected Commonwealth County over there, and he's really interested in kind of replicating what we have here in Scott. So
that's good.
And
most adjoining.
Appreciate what you do.
And I've talked with my uncle, who's mayor in Sullivan County, and we speak about the program. He is blown away as well, and said that he would love to do something over there. Just not sure how that would look and the logistics of it, but he was very interested in talking and seeing what we were doing. So.
How do you coordinate with liquor control on like a daily basis?
I will contact Mr. Krugenauer and say, you know, what roads you got, and he'll say, hey, this needs, you know, picked up I'll tell him, or he'll tell me what roads we go pick up. I'll tell him, hey, we had X amount of bags today, and then he sends that information on to VDOT to pick up the orange bags.
Have you ever done anything with the waste sites that we have here in Scott County?
We have. I'll get a call from Bill, or I think you've called me maybe once before, say, hey, this site needs some picking up or something. So, but
We've painted the dumpsters.
we painted the
also.
dumpsters before.
Cleaned up the sides.
We clean up the sites if there's excess trash. I didn't give Shannon the picture for PowerPoint, but the Yuma site over the fence had a lot of trash. We were able to pick all that up too, clean it up a little bit. We've done that at the Deep Hilton's site, the 58 site, and we did that at the East Carters Valley site. And sometimes on a rainy day, if we can't find anything, we'll go to a dump site, see if there's any trash. If we can assist the attendants that are working there, we will. If they say, hey, I've got it, and
I hate that Mr. Dingus is not here today, but I was thinking more inside. I'm thinking outside the box here, okay? Maybe having a few to go and sit at the sites for like being an attendant there. You know, we have an attendant there that is only allotted 24 hours in a week's time. And 24 hours when you've got all these sites that are, open from Monday to Saturday, that's not a lot of hours that attendants are there. So I was thinking, outside that box of maybe partnership with you all and maybe getting some help at these sites that we've got, especially Carters Valley, Yuma, Hilton's, to where we do have a lot of Tennessee people coming and illegally dumping trash at our sites.
And we did have a participant working at Fort Blackmore site at one point in time. We had a participant working Nicholsville site at one point in time. And that's something we can discuss later on. If you like, we can, always call me and we can discuss that. So.
Okay.
Could you speak to the conviction rate versus penalty? We talked briefly about that in your office.
Basically, participants can come to us in several ways. Sometimes they come as a pretrial diversion.
What I mean is, there was some question, I think, after one of the previous meetings, that you weren't pursuing violators, and I think you said you were.
Violators of?
Violators.
Trash, litter.
Oh, sure.
Illegal dumping.
Yeah, we don't typically get a lot of those illegal dumping cases in a year. I don't want to say a number, but it's not a lot, thankfully. Any of those we prosecute. Typically, what happens, because statutorily you're kind of hamstrung anyways. You're not going to get a huge fine, or you're not going to get a lengthy jail sentence even. Your defense attorneys they have nothing to lose. They might as well just try it because they can only get so much. So anything that Stacy and Mr. Daugherty bring, we prosecute along those lines. But again, at the end of the day, I think it's more, when judges have to deal with meth or distribution or rapes, robberies, all these other things, I just think they're not as bothered by trash, to put it that way, and not bragging on them or anything like that. I think that's just kind of the reality. So it's not that we don't prosecute them; it's more, and not that they don't get convicted. It's more just the actual sentence itself is
the penalty structure.
Yeah, it's typically light because it's not
misdemeanor.
So. And again, we're trying them, so we're not offering anything on it. We're not entering plea deals or anything like that. We're usually trying them and letting the judge impose a sentence. So it's kind of out of our hands at that point.
It just doesn't carry a high penalty.
Right.
What's the maximum number of participants that you could work with the current budget you have? I think you're at 65 now.
About 30 to 40 in each gender.
Is it split?
Yeah.
So you're pretty much maxed out at 65.
Pretty much.
but we're always looking to expand as well.
Yeah,
so.
we're looking to expand.
You know, we kind of discussed that. We have some ideas, and I know you all we've sat down collectively and have some ideas as well. So we are interested in coming to the table and talking about expansion, absolutely.
We don't want to cap the number of people that we help.
Right.
We want to keep helping people, and we want to.
We have
develop
throughout the years, I
other
think,
ways.
kind of developed some other different opportunities.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm speaking for these guys, the big money makers here. So, you know, it's not like they say, oh, well, you guys have X amount of participants. We're not going to, you know, offer this person this program. They still do their job how they see fit.
Yeah, if they're eligible for it, they usually do a pretty good job to squeeze them in.
And we have people, you know, I mean,
It's a revolving door, so we have people graduating and then people coming in.
Yeah,
so
some graduate early.
And some graduate early. So.
And I'll say this, I've never suggested somebody for the program and they've been turned away because of number issues or anything like that. So.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Congratulations.
Thank you for bringing those.
yeah, they were
That was
happy.
They had a lot of courage to get up there and do that.
I couldn't do that, right? I mean,
That'd be hard.
They were nervous, but.
yeah, but they did
They
great.
had-
Again, we
I
can't,
love that they have.
we're very proud.
Absolutely.
This is a really good program.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Thank you all.
Appreciate everybody's support.
just, if I was removed from this situation, didn't work here, I'm still a tax-paying citizen, and I would be very thankful for the program as well. So, and you know, we're all just one mistake away from maybe possibly being in, you know, in some of these people's shoes. So,
the program.
yeah. So, I think it's a great program, and we hope to continue growing and trying to assist, you know, with whatever we can. So, but thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
We'll take about a 5-minute break and be right back.